You're watching Tornado Facts with Beanrock124, Season 2, Episode 3. My name is Nathan, and I talk about tornadoes all the time. Well, this episode is going to be an interesting one. Today's video is about the 1994 Palm Sunday tornado outbreak, the third and final notable U.S. tornado outbreak to occur on Palm Sunday, and the second to take place in the southeastern United States. This outbreak produced 29 tornadoes from Texas to North Carolina, killing 40 and injuring 491 people, and causing $140 million in damage. The deadliest storm of this outbreak, as well as in the U.S. in 1994, was an F4 that devastated Piedmont, Alabama. That tornado that is in the thumbnail. It struck the Goshen United Methodist Church right in the middle of the Palm Sunday service, collapsing the roof on the congregation and killing 20 people inside, including the Reverend Kelly Clem's 4-year-old daughter, Hannah. 2 other houses of worship were also destroyed mid-service. The supercell that formed this tornado tracked for 200 miles to South Carolina. Now, here's the setup for it. It had a high risk on that day, March 27th. The Storm Prediction Center started forecasting the outbreak on March 26th, highlighting the risk of severe weather over the area that would eventually be impacted. They issued a severe forecast for most of the southern and some of the mid-Atlantic states, forecasting the potential for supercell thunderstorms along with the possibility of tornadoes. By the morning of March 27, it was apparent that a very strong and potent air mass had set up over the Gulf states, with the SPC issuing a moderate risk for most of Alabama, the southern half of Mississippi, and most of Louisiana in their morning outlook. The 6 a.m. Standard Time 500 millibar analysis showed a strong southwest flow of near 80 knots over the southern U.S., while at the 850 millibar level, there existed winds of near 50 knots coming out of the state of Louisiana. At the surface, temperatures in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia were in the low 70s Fahrenheit, with dew points in the upper 60s to low 70s. Cape values at Centerville, Alabama were nearing 1,200 joules per kilogram, with no cap to speak of. A surface front left by rain the previous evening was situated over the northern parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. By 9 a.m., thunderstorms and severe weather were not only occurring along the boundaries set up by the rain from the previous evening in the northern portions of Alabama and Mississippi, but further to the south as well. At 9:18 a.m., the Storm Prediction Center issued a tornado watch for eastern Mississippi and northern Alabama. The storms then rapidly intensified, with tornado warnings being issued by the Birmingham and Huntsville National Weather Service offices before 11 a.m. Shut up. Both the deadly F4 tornado that struck the Goshen United Methodist Church in Cherokee County and the Marshall County F2 twister that formed about the same time. Never mind. The SPC issued a PDS tornado watch for all of northern Georgia by noon, with the wording stating, this is a particularly dangerous. This is why I'm dyslexic. This is a particularly dangerous situation with the possibility of very damaging tornadoes. Also, large hail, dangerous lightning, and dangerous thunderstorm winds can be expected. Severe storms and tornadoes tracked into northern Georgia by 15 till 1, and tornadoes continued to track across northern Georgia until the afternoon. During the mid-afternoon, analysis showed a very unstable air mass over the southern U.S. with Cape values near 2,500 joules per kilogram, and the SRH values, which are helicity values, of near 250 meters per whatever this means, at Jackson, Mississippi. The 1800s UTC Centerville, Alabama soundings showed very similar conditions, with Cape over 2,500 joules per kilogram and SRH values over that. This resulted in an EHI helicity, it's still helicity, value of 8.49, which is strongly supportive of tornadic thunderstorms. Based on these soundings, the SPC issued a high risk for their 1930 UTC outlook, noting a rapidly destabilized atmosphere and winds being much stronger than what was originally forecasted. Noting the presence of a shortwave trough that was tracking into Mississippi and Louisiana, as well as rapidly falling pressures in advance of a frontal boundary. The SPC issued a tornado watch for eastern Louisiana, East Louisiana and central Mississippi. However, there were no tornadoes reported in this region on March 27. The SPC, seeing that storms We're tracking to the Carolinas. They issued a tornado watch for portions of western and central Carolinas, as well as the portion of northeast Georgia not already included in the prior tornado watch. Tornadoes continue to track along this area from the mid-afternoon with an F3 tornado striking parts of northeast Georgia and the upstate of South Carolina, injuring 12, and another tornado tracked along the border region of North and South Carolina, injuring 13. In Alabama, tornadoes continued into the central part of the state during the mid-afternoon. An F1 tornado struck parts of Tuscaloosa County after 4 p.m. Well, that's nice. Funnel clouds were seen in Hueytown as a storm went over Jefferson County around 4:30 p.m. local time. An F2 was reported in Shelby County at 5:30 Central Time, damaging a high school and a residential neighborhood before destroying 2 mobile home parks, further proving the point that tornadoes are attracted to mobile home parks, yet that's still not true. During the cleanup from the F4 tornado that struck Cherokee County, emergency responders had to take cover as another funnel cloud was spotted just before 6 p.m. The storms also produced up to 3-inch hail in diameter and winds about 60 miles an hour. The storm also left behind extensive flooding in Winston and Walker counties, with $150,000 worth of damage done alone to bridges and roads in Walker County. The final tornado of the outbreak was reported just before midnight in Greenville County in South Carolina, and the National Weather Service offices in Birmingham, Atlanta, and Athens did not stop issuing warnings until late at night on the 27th or in the early morning on the 28th, issuing 75 tornado warnings and 182 severe weather products overall. Overall, during the final Palm Sunday tornado outbreak, overall, it was not as synoptically, I'm dyslexic, evident as some of the past outbreaks that have occurred on this day, as there were no deep surface low or trough present for forcing in the area where all the storms could have occurred, and many of the ingredients necessary that were the cause of this outbreak were not able to be forecasted until the morning of the event. That was a mouthful, proving I'm dyslexic. Here we go. Confirmed tornadoes: none unrated, 10F0, 6F1, 4F2, 7F3, 2F4, no F5 for a total of 29. And here's your tornadoes. Here's that Piedmont one. Tornado F4 number 2. Said 7F3s. That's nice. Yeah. Here you go. 2 tornadoes to talk about here. What? Okay, sure. Okay. The second tornado of the outbreak developed in a rural area of Floyd County, Georgia, about 9 miles southeast of Rome at 1:14 p.m. Upon touching down, the 1.125 mile wide tornado uprooted large pine and oaks while causing F0 damage to 5 or 6 homes of, quote, mixed brick and wood construction. The tornado then moved northeast as it snapped trees before intensifying to F1 strength about 10 miles west of Cartersville. During this point, the tornado initially shrunk to 0.6 of a mile wide, but 0.06 of a mile wide, jeez. But then widened again to 1.25 miles wide as it passed through Cassville, with F1 damage primarily done to roofs of 10 to 15 homes. The tornado blew down 20 large trees and damaged power lines in Cassville. Thereafter, the tornado greatly increased in size and intensity as it passed between White and Rydell, with the first and only F4 damage occurring in a rural area 15 miles northwest of Canton. Therefore, the 38/10 of a mile wide tornado leveled 5 two-story brick and wood homes to the ground in the Indian Springs subdivision. The tornado also severely damaged 8 to 10 homes and slightly damaged 12 to 15. Overall, the tornado was most destructive at Indian Springs and soon weakened as it continued northeast through wooded lands. However, its path briefly widened. It killed 2 people in a trailer along Georgia State Route 140 in Bartow County and snapped 80 to 90-foot tall pine trees nearby. Though the 1 mile wide tornado impacted forested areas, it still caused major damage to 10 mobile homes and 6 permanent homes, as well as damage to 4 unspecified vehicles. This is written like a journalism article, similar to, hint, one I just wrote. Henceforth, the tornado continued to weaken to F2 intensity and contracted to 3/4 of a mile wide as it passed into Pickens County, severely damaging 10 to 15 chicken coops along with 20 to 25 homes of brick and wood construction. It killed one more person in a trailer before lifting from the ground about 6 miles southeast of Jasper. Ultimately, it caused over $7 million in $1984 in losses. to properties and businesses in Bartow County alone, with another $1.5 million lost in losses in adjoining Pickens County. The tornado killed 3 people and over 500,000 chickens along its track, and leveled thousands of trees, with $10 million in losses to agriculture interests. Now, this one I don't feel like reading because I don't want to. Anyways, effects on national safety. The deaths at Goshen United Methodist Church brought to light the deficiencies in the NOAA Weather Radio Network across the... Yeah, no thank you. Anyways, that is it for Season 2, Episode 3 of Tornado Facts with Beanrock124. You can help support the damage that was done by Hurricane Ian by giving money to people in need. I don't know. More specifically, help the people on Sanibel Island near Fort Myers, because they're still stuck there. Luckily, I'm not there. Goodbye.